Hi guys, welcome to another Brushmaster video, and today we're going to be painting the base of the Archvillain Games Demon, and we're going to be using some of my favourite colours today, which is purple, orange and green. So let's get cracking. Right, so when I started the base, I've initially base coated it all over in amethyst blue, which you can see is a really nice blue purplish sort of tone. And this first mix is dark green grey with a touch of the amethyst blue in it. And I've thinned it down a little bit because I don't want too many brush lines, and I'm just trying to go over these rocks and establish planes of light. So areas that are pointing up and that I want to stand out and be a little lighter than the rest of the base. Right, a bit of colour theory guys. So when I was painting this base, I wanted to use purple definitely, so I've gone for a perfect triad of purple, orange and green. The green and the orange are not highly visible, but they are there and help to harmonise the colour of the base. And here what I've done is I've taken that mix and I've added a little bit more water to it, so it's very much a glaze this. And I'm trying to clean up and smooth the brush strokes I've made earlier, but I'm also trying to add a little bit more light in certain areas. So the way I'm doing this is I'm pushing this paint, this very watered down paint, up into the areas where I want more light. So as you can see here, I'm pushing to the front of the rock, which is the area I want to stand out, and because it's a focal point, I want this area to be brighter. I've now added in green sky from AK Interactive, and again I've watered this down so it's quite thin, and it's the same technique as before, so I'm pushing paint into the lightest areas and trying to build up brighter and lighter spots. So this can be done in a couple of ways, but on this base, because there was lots of large flat areas, I wanted to try and get a smoother overall feel, so I'm pushing thinner paint to the edges of the rocks. And here again, I've just added more green sky in now, so it's getting quite light, the mix. And this is just a bit more selective this time, of pushing this brighter paint nearer the high spots and the edges. And I'm just trying to build up some little spots on the rocks that are brighter and create areas of interest. That's one of the things about rocks, is if you paint them all over the same colour, then there's no real focal point to the rocks. So what I'm trying to do here is just build little areas and almost sculpt with the paint to try and create little points that stand out and catch your eye. And here I've just added more water into that mix, and I'm doing what I did earlier. I'm glazing over these areas just to reduce brush marks and smooth out the transitions between colours. And I do this quite a lot on larger areas like this, and as you can see from the rocks there, they're starting to get some nice contrast and some nice high and low spots in value. And also you notice where the way I've brushed, I've created little cracks and crevices and points of interest in the rocks that are going to help to make the base stand out a bit. So this is where I'm starting to add some difference in colour, because with the purple and the green grey, there's a sort of monotone look, and it needs something, an in-between or an intermediary colour to try and break up that monotone look. So as I explained in the colour theory section earlier, I'm going to use orange as that intermediate colour. And a lot of the time when you paint this on, it comes off looking as like a brownish colour, but it is orange, and that works really nice with the green grey and the purple. What I do in a minute, I sort of change the colour a bit, because this orange that I use, as I put more and more of it on, I was feeling that it was looking too bright. So I change over in one of the sections soon over to medium rust from AK Interactive, and that's more of a reddish brownish orange, which I think actually works better, but you'll see that coming up soon. So as I explained earlier, I've changed to medium rust now, and that was purely a sort of aesthetical decision, because when I put the previous orange colour on, I felt it was maybe too bright. It had too much of a saturated orangey look. So this medium rust colour is a lot less saturated, and it's a bit darker and deeper in tone. So as I add this colour, I definitely became happier with the look of what it was doing to the rocks. And I put this a lot more in the shadowy areas as well. So you'll see it even in some of the purple areas, I'll be painting this colour in to break up that sort of bluish purple look. So I'm putting a bit of an edge highlight on here, and I've gone to blue grey from AK Interactive, which is a very light whitish blue greyish colour. And as you can see, as I put it on, it really pops, you know, quite quickly with only one or two layers. But as you look at the base there, the overall planes of light and the tone and the colour, I'm really quite happy with. So now it's a matter of finessing certain parts of these rocks and trying to get them to have little areas that really stand out and make them look interesting as rocks. I think it's also interesting when you're painting bases like this, and this is quite a larger, chunkier base. It's really well sculpted, which helps a lot. But if you look at this overall base, there's lots of different areas that have different levels of highlighting, different levels of colour, and pull the eye in different directions. And that's one thing I think it's important when you're painting a base like this. As I explained earlier, you know, try and create little points of interest. So where this front foot is that I'm painting now, I focused a lot on the upper planes of that. As you can see here, it's quite light, but it's also quite detailed. And I probably put more attention into that than I have maybe the rock under the back foot, which is not so much in the limelight, as we may say. So I've created these areas that help the base look more dramatic and more contrasted in different ways in different area. So I hope that makes sense, but that's the way I like to approach things like this, bases like this, which I've explained to my students several times. If you take a large area like this and paint it all the same all over, it very much looks monotone and monotonous. There's no interesting areas that make it pop in your eyes. So painting something like this, I try to build those little zones or areas of interest, which overall makes the base much more appealing when you look at it. So here's the final version of the base, guys. Thanks for watching and hope to see you again on the next Brushmaster video.